Hi guys, today's going to be a video regarding Neville Goddard method. So I don't talk about him too often, and other kind of teachers and what do you call it, like not really founders, but like the people who initially taught law of assumption in the community, created the community. I don't talk about that too much. I talk more about what I've learned, how I like to apply things, but I am going to bring it back to like an OG topic, and that's going to be SATS. So it's state akin to sleep, and I'm going to explain all of that and how to apply it in regards to manifesting your SP today. So if this sounds interesting and you'd like to see more content like this, then please do thumbs up and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can stay up to date with all my manifestation content. I do also offer coaching, so if you would like to get one-on-one help with me, have support and written coaching with me directly, then do get in touch. In the outro will feature all my contact details, but you can also check the link below in the description box for LOA coaching on Instagram. That's my coaching page, so it has all the information there. I will pop something on screen now as well to show you a couple offers that I have. And yeah, let's start the video. So as I just said, SATS stands for, it's an acronym for state akin to sleep, which means a drowsy state, a sleepy state where you are, it's almost like you're sleeping, you're very relaxed, your mind and your body are relaxed, you don't have, a racing heart, your heart rate isn't racing, and you are just relaxed, your thoughts aren't racing either, you're just in a very balanced, open, relaxed mind frame. And it's obviously not exactly the same as being unconscious, obviously, when you're asleep, but in terms of the thoughts and visuals and manifesting, it has the same effect. So these are the times where it's best to visualize and loop a specific scene or desired outcome. And this obviously isn't only done when you're falling asleep or when you're getting ready to go to sleep in bed. It's just best done when you're sleepy and in that drowsy oh, sorry, my throat. When you're in that drowsy state, as I mentioned, because that's when the mind is the most open. The conscious mind has the fewest barriers up, and I don't recall the exact states. I believe there are 4 states of consciousness, like delta, theta, alpha, and I think delta and theta are when you're falling asleep and as you're asleep. So in 2 of the states, basically, your mind is more open. It will more easily accept information and whatever's going through. That's why I think that's also how our dreams are connected in terms of, this imagery just coming up and we're not really in control. It just comes up in our mind and we have these weird dreams. So when you're in this drowsy state and your mind is more open, whatever information you give in, which is why if you watch my affirmation tapes video, you'll see as well why looping affirmations is so useful as you're asleep. But basically the visuals are going to be more powerful. It's all about being in a relaxed state of mind so that you can focus. You can focus on the visual, really feel it as if it's real. And I don't mean emotionally feel it real, but the Neville Goddard form in which you just mentally experience it. So it's all about seeing it in the most realistic experience in your present moment, in your mind. You are literally currently living that, you're visualizing it, you're focused on it, you've kind of got, oh, hello, out of focus. Okay, you've got this laser focus on this imagery and this scene, and you're able to loop it over and over. You're not sat there worrying and thinking about the day. You're kind of ready to fall asleep and you're very sleepy and relaxed, and your eyes are half open. It's kind of in that state when it's best done. So the method that it actually entails is looping a specific visual. So literally picking a scene and doing this as you're falling asleep. Literally as you're laying in bed with your eyes closed, whatever the case may be, and you're like, right, I'm gonna get ready to literally go to sleep now. That is, and you're having, your final thoughts before you fall asleep and just kind of thinking about whatever comes to mind, but instead you replace it with this specific, concise visual. So that is entirely up to you. I'm not going to tell you in this video what to do, because it's up to you what you want, what works best for you, how detailed you want to go. If you struggle with visualizing, that's not a problem, still test it out, but you can pick something very, very simple and short, literally a text message coming up on your phone. I think everyone can imagine that, because as I said that, you probably just now watching the video had an image come up in your mind of a text message on a phone or just seeing your phone. So it does work for everyone, and it can take practice to build up, but just something simple and concise. So before you do this, you do want to kind of pre-plan it and prepare for it and kind of create this intention that, starting from tonight, I'm going to or tomorrow night, whatever time it is where you are, but I'm going to visualize this specific thing over and over. This is what I want. This is the end goal that I'm creating with my SP. So you want to pre-plan it, keep it short, to the point, very concise, whether it's a text message, for example, or marriage, proposal. What else? You want to just go, you want your SP to ask you out and take you out on a date. You can imagine them saying, you know, oh, I'm so glad you agreed to go on this date with me, and then imagine doing something on the date. So whatever it is, pick something very specific that aligns with, and you want to repeat this every night as you're falling asleep. It may not work every night. Perhaps you get home super late from something, just had a really stressful day, you're not in the right mindset, whatever it is, it's okay. You don't have to do it every single day, but if you're able to, every night get into this habit of repeating this visual. Obviously keep going and keep repeating this habit until it manifests. But also you can stop at the point where you feel that your mind is saturated and that you feel this is realistic, you connect with it, it feels good to imagine, you just feel like you've thought about it so much that it's like ingrained in your mind. At that point you can stop and just go back to your normal routine or try something else, but you want to repeat it minimum a couple of times for it to realistically manifest, because oftentimes with an SP you're going to have resistance. You're not just going to be able to think about it once and then it happens. Unless you're already in a relationship with your SP and it's just like, oh, I want them to buy me flowers or something. Absolutely, you can do it once and it could absolutely manifest, but usually it takes repetition. So as I said, connect it to your current goal and what your end goal with your SP actually is, but also connect it to your affirmations. So bring it all in together so it's all connected, it's all repeating the same type of outcome. Because if you're manifesting your SP to text you because you've been in no contact, and then you start visualizing marriage, yes, it's still positive and it's creating a positive outcome, but it's not connected to what you're doing. It's not fueling that one belief, because you're going from trying to convince yourself and create the belief that your SP texts you all the time, for example, and then you're saying, well, actually now I'm going to imagine us being married. Your mind will bring up, the conscious mind will have resistance to that, and it will take more repetition to believe in that. So it's, in my opinion, easier and better to just stick to what you're already focusing on. So whatever it is, no matter what, whatever the outcome is with your SP, you visualize that specific positive outcome. I also have a couple, before I finish up and finalize with final thoughts of the video, I have a few Neville Goddard quotes and statements that I wanted to read out to you guys and give a little bit of my feedback on, but just so you know exactly what Neville himself has recommended. First one is, you construct in your mind's eye one single little event which implies that you have realized your desire. So basically you imagine in your mind, in the mind's eye, so visualizing, you visualize in your mind one specific small event that implies that you have what you want. So his approach is slightly different, where it's saying what would happen in your life to imply that you already have this. And I have spoken about this in other videos. But yeah, you can take it directly or you can take my approach. So what he's saying is pick something that would imply that you already have your desire. So it could be you standing in your home that you own with your SP. You visualize that your SP is in the room with you and you are maybe taking off the wedding ring, and you say to your SP like, oh, better keep this safe on the nightstand. You know, I love this ring that you proposed to me with. Literally super specific, but it implies that you have what you want. You got the marriage, you got the proposal, whatever it is. So to me, that is one of the most easy, concise, very specific, yet somewhat insignificant events, like day to day. If you're married to your SP, you will look at your wedding band, your engagement ring, whatever it may be. You may say to someone, oh, I'm married, or oh yeah, my husband this, my wife that. So something like that would imply that you had the marriage with your SP, you got the proposal, you have the commitment, right? So whatever it is, you pick a specific small event, as Neville says, and you just imagine it in your mind with something that implies you have it. Pretty simple. He also said, so I think he's just speaking in reference to a person applying it, his entire slumber is dominated by his last waking concept of self. So yes, this could be taken, interpreted as like about self-concept, but concept of self can also just be, I'm a wife, I'm a husband, you know, I've manifested this SP to give me blah, blah, blah. So his entire slumber, meaning as you're asleep, it's dominated by what you were last thinking about as you're asleep. And I'm pretty sure there is some science to back this up as well. And it basically implies that whatever you were last focusing on and looping and really like saturating your mind with, and that you significantly focused your mind on, that's going to show up in your dreams, which often happens, by the way. I've had that so many times. It's going to be what's in your mind. It's the last thing you thought about before you fell asleep. And it does have an effect. It is significant. So if you loop it and you are, before falling asleep, able to loop that visual 3, 4, 5 times, 10, 20 would be amazing. But even just a couple, you're helping to focus your mind on that. So then as you're asleep, that's what is literally sat in your mind as the last conscious thought. And finally, before I finish up, I've got one last little piece of advice and point to make, and it's that it is okay to fall asleep. It's okay to not loop it several times. I know a lot of people say, and I've seen this everywhere, like I've had this as well, where I can't even remember the next morning how often I looped a specific scene because I fell asleep and I'm like, oh wait, I don't remember, like literally I can't quantify it now. Did I do it 5 times? Did I do it once? Did I do it at all? I start to question it. But it's okay if you fall asleep pretty quickly. That doesn't matter. That's even better because it shows how much in a drowsy state your mind already was. So that is my video on applying SATS every night. Repetition is the key, which is something I always tell my clients. And I hope this was a useful video for something different for you to test out. Do let me know any feedback in the comments if you do try this method out. And don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you enjoy my manifestation content. And I will see you next time.